Good afternoon, guys. Hey, we're coming live to you from the Barbie Ranch, and today we're going to make some Granny Smith green apple and blackberry cobbler. This has been one of my favorites. We've kind of modified it a little bit from its original to fit our needs. It used to be quite labor intensive because you had to peel and core all the apples. We're not going to peel them, and I think it still comes out good. The skins soften up so they're not, like a crunch, like you're biting into a raw potato or something like that. So we've got here, we've got about 12 Granny Smith green apples that we're going to core and slice. And to that, we're going to add some brown sugar, some white sugar, some cinnamon, and good old cornstarch to kind of thicken up with those juices. And then we're going to come back and show you how to make our cobbler topping. So we're going to begin by taking and just coring our apples. And like I said, we got about 12 of them here. Normally, when I do in a 12-inch Dutch oven, we'll only do about 6 or 7 apples. But, today we're going to do 12 because we're doing a 14-inch. We've got a little shindig that we're doing, and going to prepare that for me. Well, Michael pointed out to me that a lot of people might get a little freaked out because we're touching food and we're not wearing gloves. Well, I'm here to assure you that I wash my hands before I go to the bathroom, and so we're good. I know, don't freak out. They do have a food handler's card. This is for our personal consumption, and so if we were catering or doing a gig out in public, we would be wearing gloves. So, cut you off there. Okay.
That doesn't seem to be cutting too smoothly, does it?
Yeah, this cutting board is cockeyed, so as a result, it doesn't get all the way down through there. Welcome back. We've cored all our apples, and we just thank you, Buck Knife. I've had this knife for about 25, 30 years. Love it. And that's what we do. So we've taken and kind of just rough chopped our apples. We got a bowl of those, and we're about ready to put those in our little secret ingredients. So what I'm going to do here is, rather than try and mix it in a bowl, it's going to go in the oven anyway, so I'm just going to put all my apples in my 14-inch Dutch oven. And that looks like a lot, doesn't it? Well, it's going to be yummy and good. So, to that...
Question for you, does that cook down?
It does cook down a little bit.
Okay.
But we're going to have that cobbler topping on. I think it's just going to be just right. So we've got 1 cup of brown sugar. If you're doing this in a 12-inch Dutch oven or a 9x13 casserole dish, you'd only use about a half cup. So we're going to just kind of sprinkle that. I'm going to mix it all together anyways, but I just like to spread it around. I see these people where they dump it all in one spot, and I kind of think that it gets a little bit saturated in certain spots and doesn't mix very well. So 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of white sugar. And again, spread that all around. And you're probably going, oh, that's not very diabetic friendly. And I'm going to add a couple teaspoons of cornstarch. That's going to kind of help thicken up any of those juices that come out of there. And then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons. You say 1, Michael, and that's about 2 teaspoons.
When?
Okay, maybe 3. All right. So now, let me get my spoon. We're just going to kind of mix this together. Incorporate all that stuff in there. And you'll notice I didn't put any butter or anything in the bottom, but this oven yesterday is what we used on our Thanksgiving to make our breads. And it had a lot of butter in it. We made soft butter rolls. And you probably saw the video where I flipped them, so we're going to show that to you here in a few days or a week. We'll see.
I don't know. We've got to do it's on the turkey video, so
That was our teaser.
it'll be a teaser. Seeing you flip it.
Okay, so try and keep some of that sugar off the bottom, but we know it's going to get in there. Okay, that's looking about to the consistency that I like to have, where everything's pretty much coated. Spread that all out, and we'll be back here in a moment. I'll show you how to make the topping for it.
It actually tasted good just the way it was.
Welcome back, folks. Okay, we've got our green apples mixed up with our mixture of cinnamon and sugars and no salt. We're going to show you how to do the topping. So now we're going to take 1 cup of oatmeal, Quaker, 1 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and 1 stick of butter that we kind of cut up in little pieces. Put that in there and mix that all together. Add a little bit of cinnamon to it, and that's what's going to become our topping. And before we put it on, we'll add some walnuts to it. And I guess if you had a preference for pecans, you could take and use those as well. I'll borrow my spoon here. Just going to mix that all together. And we've got the cinnamon. Can't do that. That's like when you make a peach cobbler. Got to have the cinnamon, even some nutmeg to make that over the top. Like I said, I washed my hands before I went to the bathroom, so we're good. And once I get this kind of mixed with a spoon, I'm going to get in there with my hands and kind of crush it together and make a little crumble mixture. Okay. Here we go, going in. Mash it all together. So it's a good idea to kind of have your butter kind of somewhat cold at this point. You don't want it to just be mushy and liquidy. So we're kind of making a little, like a cornmeal type thing out of it. And again, it's your preference on whether you want to use walnuts or pecans or other nuts or maybe no nuts at all. But I'll tell you what, it sure adds to this dish. So we're going to take and add our crushed walnuts. And this is an 8-ounce bag. It only calls for about 3 ounces, so I'm going to use probably a little bit more than half. And I got that all mixed in too. Get that all coated up with that stuff. Okay, now we're about ready to put it all together. But first, we need to get our blackberries added into the mixture. And so, at this point, we're going to take our blackberries and add those in. I don't know, Michael.
Not much room in there.
Recipe calls for 2, but I'm thinking you snuck some of the ones out of the other pint, so we're going to add a few more into it. Get our spoon back out here. There we go. Now I got to take one out of there. Oh, so looks like all our blackberries disappeared down inside the thing. They're in there. Let's get some of them out here on top. Okay. That's a big blackberry. Okay, now we're going to take and add our topping. And just going to sprinkle that around the top there, about as evenly as you can get it to go. A little bit around the sides here. Now it looks like everything's kind of disappeared, but this kind of comes out with a nice crunchy type topping on it, like a cobbler. And if you ever do any research and start looking at different types of this type of dessert, there's cobblers and dump cakes and clafoutis and grunts and buckles, and there's about 13 or 15 different varieties, and they're geographical. You might have one that, southeast United States is a certain way. Go a little bit further northeastern United States and a little bit different that way. Down in Texas is going to be a whole different way. And so it's kind of cool to kind of do the research and see all the different types of desserts like this. So we'll see you in a little bit. We're going to put this on the coals here. Like and subscribe.
Go.
Okay, folks, we're back, and we've had our Granny Smith green apple and blackberry cobbler cooking for about 45 minutes or so. And I think we're pretty close to being done. We're ready to serve it. So here's our reveal. We're going to take a quick peek here. And yeah, I think we're good. Matter of fact, I'm going to steal a bite out of there. That piece right there. And that's hot. I should have probably had a plate or something to put it on. But oh yeah. Nice and soft, great flavor, a little bit of crunch from the walnuts and oatmeal combination. Oh man. A little bit of vanilla bean ice cream to go with that, and that's a hit.
And don't be diabetic when you eat this.
Yeah, make sure you shoot your insulin first. But thanks for joining us, folks. Really appreciate your hitting the like and subscribe and your support in doing this. We enjoy sharing the Dutch oven cooking experiences with you. I may not be as animated as some, but we have fun with it, and hopefully you gain some knowledge and some interest and learn from some of the things that we've gone through, and do some of this out in your backyard. Invite your friends over, invite your family over. It's fun. Try it. You'll enjoy it.
And be sure and invite your friends to view the channel.
Yeah. Come over and have a viewing party. Say, hey, now let's watch it. Now let's go do it. Hit like and subscribe. Thank you.